Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and today I want to show you guys how to make the best sugar cookies with raspberry frosting. And these are just so much better than any sugar cookies you're going to buy at the grocery store. I'm going to start by showing you how to make a classic sugar cookie, and then we're going to be using my raspberry buttercream frosting to top these. You guys are going to love the flavors here. That raspberry buttercream is made with real raspberry flavor, and it's just out of this world delicious. Now I have a separate video recipe for the raspberry buttercream. I already made a batch of it here. I'm going to have it on the side. Let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make these sugar cookies. In my mixing bowl here, I've softened 1 cup of unsalted butter at room temperature. You want it to be nice and soft but not melted. Next, I'm going to add in 1 cup of white granulated sugar. And I'm going to use my hand mixer and beat the butter and the sugar together for a couple minutes until it's light and fluffy. Next, I'll add in 1 large egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'll mix this all together. And now for my dry ingredients, I have 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm going to be adding in ½ teaspoon of baking powder and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And just mix this all together. And I'm going to add the flour into my cookie batter, and I'll use my hand mixer to start mixing in the flour. You want to keep mixing until the dough starts coming together into a ball. I'm going to lightly flour my work surface now that my sugar cookie dough is done. Now, there are a couple different methods of making sugar cookies. At this point, you could wrap the dough in plastic wrap and place it into the refrigerator and just let it chill there for about an hour, and then you could come back, roll the dough out, and then shape your cookies. The method I'm going to show you today does it the opposite way. So I actually like to roll out the dough first, shape the cookies, and I'll place them onto a cookie sheet and then place them into the refrigerator to chill, and then you could just take them straight out of the fridge and into the oven. I just find that it's so much easier to roll out the dough before it's been chilled. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split the dough in half first. It'll be just a little bit easier to work with the smaller piece. And you want to make sure that you flour your rolling pin as well. You don't want the dough sticking to anything. And I like to shape the cookie dough into a flat disc, and then grab my rolling pin and gently and evenly roll it out. So you want the cookies to be as even as possible. And then you also want to flip the dough over about halfway through. That way it doesn't stick to the surface. Just make sure you're not rolling the dough too thinly. This looks perfect. Now I'm going to grab my heart-shaped cookie cutter, and I'm going to try to get as many heart shapes out of here as possible. Now you can re-roll the dough, so I'm going to collect all the scraps and re-roll it. And I like to use a little offset spatula to help me lift the cookies off the work surface and onto my pan. And I'm just going to repeat this process of rolling out the dough, cutting it out, and then placing it onto my baking sheet with the second half that I have reserved. And then I'll also do the same with the scraps. Try to use up as much of those scraps as possible. And this recipe makes about 18 cookies. And once I have my cookies ready to go, I'm going to place them into the refrigerator, and I'm going to chill them for about 45 minutes to an hour. This step is crucial if you want pretty cookies. If you skip the chilling part, the cookies are just going to spread out. By chilling them, they're going to retain their shape, so you're going to have nice heart-shaped cookies. Once they're chilled, I'm going to bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 minutes. You want the cookies to still be creamy white, maybe just slightly golden underneath. And once your cookies are baked and you take them out of the oven, let them cool on the parchment paper for at least 10 minutes because they're going to be very, very fragile when you just take them out of the oven. I want to show you the bottom of these cookies. So see, they're just a really light golden brown color. You don't want these cookies to brown. They want them to be really nice and pretty and pale white, and then you can move them over to a cooling rack to cool completely. And while your cookies are baking and cooling, it's the perfect time to make a batch of my raspberry buttercream. You guys are going to love this frosting. It is so fruity, tart, and delicious. I have a separate video recipe for this frosting. I'm going to include the link down in the video description box below, so make sure to check it out. Now, I've transferred the buttercream into a large pastry bag, and today I'm using a small round tip. It's a Wilton number 12, or you could simply use a little offset spatula and just freely apply the buttercream on the top. And I want to show you guys how to decorate the cookies using the frosting in a pastry bag. I'm just going to pipe a little border all the way around the cookies first, and then I'm going to fill the inside with more buttercream. And then use a little offset spatula to spread that frosting evenly. Doesn't that look pretty? They're just such cute little dainty cookies. And to make these really fun, you could garnish them with some sprinkles on the top. And how cute are these heart-shaped sugar cookies? They turned out so pretty and cute with all the sprinkles. They look so festive and perfect for Valentine's Day. For the full recipe, don't forget to head on down the video description box. I'll leave a link there that'll take you over to my website so you can print this recipe off. Now, if you're going to make these and enjoy them the same day, you could just leave them out at room temperature. But if you do want to keep them for a couple days, or if you want to pack them into a box to share them with your family or your coworkers, make sure to place them into the refrigerator. So just lay them in single layer on a baking sheet, place it into the refrigerator, and just let it chill there for a couple hours. This will allow the buttercream to set up, so it'll hold its shape better, and then you can pack it onto a tray or into a box. You guys are going to love these. Time to give these a try. I just love the sprinkles on top. I'm just such a child at heart. Now, this is my type of sugar cookie. It is so incredibly delicious. You guys are going to love the flavors. The sugar cookie has a slightly crunchy outside, and then the inside is just really nice and soft. It just kind of melts in your mouth, and it's perfectly complemented with this tart and fruity raspberry buttercream. Has so much incredible flavor. Has a little bit of tartness from the raspberries, has the real raspberry flavor. It is so incredibly delicious. Just kind of helps balance out all the sweetness and the flavors of these cookies. These are the ultimate treat for Valentine's Day. These are so incredibly delicious. Your coworkers, your family and friends are going to love you if you make a batch of these for them. Don't forget to head on down the video description box for the full recipe. I hope you guys enjoy these for the holidays, and I'll see you next time with a new video.